Story. Once upon a time, there was a hospital that deployed this incredible autonomous agent to prioritize patients in the ER. And you know what? It worked. It absolutely slashed wait times by 30%. But then, they started noticing a really disturbing pattern. The agent was deprioritizing patients from specific zip codes, basically baking in old historical biases without anyone even realizing. And that, my friend, is a textbook, high-stakes case of algorithmic bias. This isn't just some technical glitch, right? It's a massive ethical failure. But look, we're not here to just point out the problems. We're here to build the solution. So level up, study buddy, let's get building. So this really gets to the heart of the matter, the core tension we're all wrestling with. On one side, you've got this amazing promise of speed and efficiency. A 30% reduction in wait times is huge. But on the other side, you have the absolute, non-negotiable need for fairness. This is the tightrope we have to walk in this new agentic era. We have to solve for both. And that hospital story, that's not some one-off thing. This exact challenge is scaling up everywhere. We're talking about autonomous agents making life-altering decisions in healthcare, approving or denying your mortgage in finance, and even operating in national security. The potential for good is just massive, but wow, so is the risk if we mess this up. This brings us to a really important idea, the moral crumple zone. You know how a car has a crumple zone? It's built to absorb the impact of a crash so you don't have to. Well, a moral crumple zone is where responsibility gets absorbed or really just disappears when an AI makes a bad call. It gets dangerously fuzzy who's actually at fault. Which leads us right to this monster of a question. When that hospital agent messes up and someone who needs care gets pushed to the back of the line, who is on the hook? Is it the developer who wrote the code? The hospital that turned it on? The biased data it learned from? That ambiguity, that's the real danger here. Okay, but there is a path forward. We can get out of this mess. It's all about shifting our mindset from just managing risk to proactively building with responsible design from the very beginning. And the blueprint for doing that is something we call the Balanced Autonomy framework. This whole framework really stands on three main pillars. You can think of it like a three-layered defense system for making AI we can actually trust. Let's break down each one, starting right at the foundation. First up, we've got hard constraints. These are the unbreakable, no-exceptions rules. Think about things like anti-discrimination laws. These aren't just suggestions for the AI. They are baked directly into its core reasoning as absolute boundaries it cannot, under any circumstances, cross. Period. End of story. Okay, next up are the soft constraints. So if hard constraints are the letter of the law, soft constraints are the spirit of the law. These are the guiding ethical principles we want the AI to live by. Things like fairness, transparency, and accountability. They act like guardrails, shaping the agent's behavior. So it's not just doing things right, but it's doing the right things. And finally, maybe the most important piece of all, the human safety net. This is our emergency brake. Whenever the AI runs into a situation it's never seen before or its confidence in a decision dips too low, bam! It automatically flags the decision for a human expert to step in and review. This is how we guarantee that in those tricky gray areas, AI smarts will never, ever override human hearts. I absolutely love this analogy because it totally reframes how we should think about ethics in tech. It's not about slamming on the brakes and stopping all this cool innovation. Not at all. It's about steering it. Exactly. I mean, what good is a super powerful engine if you have no control over where the ship is going? The rudder, our ethical framework, doesn't slow the ship down. It just keeps you from crashing into the rocks and makes sure you actually get where you intended to go. All right, so we've gone through the problem, we've outlined the framework. Now it is your turn. It's time to go from being a learner to being a builder. Let's make this stuff practical. So here's your challenge. I want you to go into NotebookLM and use this exact prompt. Ask it to list 3 ethical principles and, this is the key part, explain how you would actually operationalize them as hard or soft constraints to stop things like reward hacking. This is how you start to really think like a responsible AI architect. Because, at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. Accountable and aligned. That's the goal. We're not just trying to build powerful AI, we're trying to build accountable AI. AI that reflects our best values, not our worst biases. This isn't just about better tech. It's about building a future that all of us can actually trust. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. If you want to keep building the future of responsible AI, you know what to do?
Like, share, and subscribe to Study Buddy with Notebook LM. Stay agentic.